ordinance 2013-10, an ordinance amending the code of the Township of Mount Holly, section 149-110, B1 Central Business District. Before we go into the public portion of this, we have to put it on the floor, right? So, I have a motion on this, or do you want to have a discussion with it first, or just go straight to a motion on it? It's the will of the council.
You can go with the motion.
Motion? Mr. DeFalco made a motion. I have a second? Mr. Brown is second. Okay, now I'll open this up for the public comment. Mr. Zappanelli, you want to give a description of this?
Basically, it allows for the new laws with regard to the breweries to go in the downtown district, and amended the land use code for that purpose. Obviously, we had the village idiot come in, they're interested in coming into town, so we drafted the ordinance accordingly.
So this would be the only change to this code is, as stated here, to amend the code to explicitly declare breweries operating under a limited brewery license as permitted use in B1 zone.
Correct.
That's it. Okay.
There were some other aspects to it, and I know that Mr. Real had sent a letter. I just got it today. He didn't give me a call, so I didn't get a chance to discuss it with him. But the land use board had made some recommendations to possibly add some other things to it, and also discuss that 2,500 square foot issue.
But it wasn't done. So this is what we're voting on right now, correct?
No, you could table it. I mean, that was it was listed for the second reading. We passed it on first reading, I think, at the last meeting, or whatever it was. And the land use board obviously took some time with it, and we thought it was a little rapid. But you can have some discussion, and we can advertise it however the council so chooses. I would just point out, I've not had a chance. I believe that everybody's in support of the overall amending the code to include the B1 Central Business District. The question is whether you want to go as far as Mr. Real had suggested in some areas, keep it more simple, or somewhere in between. My suggestion to the council would be to, I can discuss it with Mr. Real, and we can give a presentation at the next meeting with our and then you could vote on it then, or you can discuss it at the workshop, but we can prepare the ordinance for the next meeting.
Well, what's your recommendation is that we table it?
Yes, the land use board just got back to me, and I think he sent it out like on Thursday, and I didn't see it until today. I could get right in my office.
We do have a work session coming up, so we could touch base on it.
What's the next Monday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it affects the.
And timeline-wise?
I don't think it. You might want to just double check to make sure it doesn't affect the. I believe they're here. I think I saw the individuals from the village idiot, but I don't think 2 weeks will hurt.
No. You guys good? So they're good there. All right, then. Do I have a motion to table this until our next meeting? We have a discussion on.
They have a final prepared.
I'll just point out one of the things I thought that Mr. Real made a very good suggestion. I didn't know that the council was interested in this, but they did talk about some of the other potential uses on this and adding to it further, which one particular I thought was a good idea. So I can discuss it with him, and we can bring it up at we can discuss it at the work session briefly, and you can have it on the agenda for the following meeting.
Mr. Mayor, let me, what came out of the planning board in a synopsis was that most of the ordinance, as it was written, parts of it were very archaic, and basically we were forwarding that same ordinance by just adding the one piece that we need, we're looking forward to, without changing the other archaic languages. I don't think the planning board or we would just want to do that. So it would give us an opportunity to still support what we wanted to do in the B1 district, but change some of the archaic language for the next time around.
Which was, I think, one of your issues from the beginning.
Right. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, with the recommendation of the.
Can I say something?
We don't have.
Okay. Well, I'm with the village idiot guys. So go ahead and ask.
All right.
I just
Go
have a
ahead. What do you
comment.
got?
It's the my concern is the 2 weeks. It could become more than that, and that would really tie us up, when we'd have to change gears and may have to move to a different.
Which is why I asked you if it was gonna be, if
Yeah,
it was gonna
two
work.
would be the max, but,
Right.
you know.
So we are committed here. So we have a work session on Monday, we will kick it around.
Actually, it would end up being 3 weeks, I believe, because next week is not a meeting, because it's, next week's the
Well, we have the
so it'd be
first
3
week
weeks
then.
if that's, yeah, because it's.
We got 3 weeks,
Or
3
you could-
weeks?
It would be
We-
The October 8th.
You're also not including a 20-day timeline, the ordinance to that.
Well, let's talk about it, talk to, what do we got here? Do we have a time limit issue or not? So what's your cutoff date? When do you need?
Well, we have a lot of money to put out, but we're not gonna start putting that money out until we're sure we're in the space.
Right.
So, we'd like to not get tied up with other politics. If we could just move our issue on and do something different for that, just to let us get going. We wanna get in town. We
Well,
have 900 likes on Facebook, everybody's
Right.
bugging us to get going, so.
Is
You
there
could
any
pass
reason
it
why we
tonight
can't pass
as-
to make modifications to it?
You could pass it tonight as written on second reading,
Right.
and then we would do a new ordinance, which
And
would
do a
amend
new
it
one.
further, which would take 2 readings, but at least you get it
Right.
through for their purposes and
And
go out.
the cost is minimum, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, which is where I was going.
that's fine.
All right, so there was now a motion to table, so now there is a motion on the table. There was a motion that was seconded, and we went into this line of discussion. So now at this point, we are gonna move forward with this ordinance amendment as stated. As you heard us state, we are going to put this issue on the work session and discuss cleaning up the archaic language, as Mr. Belton pointed out, and everybody was in agreement that we should do that. But because of the timeliness issue for a business that we are interested in having, come into our town, we are going to go forward now with the amendment to this ordinance as written that we have in front of us right now. Okay, so I'm going to open this up to the public. My right, your left. Discussion on this ordinance only, to amend the code to explicitly declare breweries operating under a limited brewery license as permitted use under B1 zone. Now, I would like to say that you already heard us discuss that we will bring this to a workshop, so if you have issues with the archaic language or whatnot, we're gonna deal with that. So we don't need to really kick that around right here and now. So I would ask you to restrain your questions or your issues to just what's being amended right here. So it's not what we could do with this and what a great opportunity we have to clean this up. We're still not going to miss that opportunity. So my right, your left, first row. Any comments on this ordinance 2013-10? Second row, third row, fourth row, back row. Over to my left, your right, first row, second row, third row, fourth row, back row if there's anybody back there. Over here on the left, against the wall, any questions, comments on ordinance 2013-10? No. Seeing no one wishing to speak on this ordinance, I close the public portion and I move it back here for action. I think we already had enough discussion on it. We're ready for action on it. So roll call, please.
Mr. Belton?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Falco?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dow?
Yes. So that ordinance 2013-10 passes. So you guys are clear to go about getting that business going, all right? Okay, and we're going to add that to the work session. Ordinance review. Yes. All right, next up is ordinance 2013-11. Ordinance establishing the rate of compensation, salary, or wage of employees of the Township of Mount Holly. Also, a second reading. The first one was in title only. So, do I have a motion to go forward with this ordinance?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2013-11.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, now before we go into further discussion or roll call, I will open this ordinance to The general public, same thing. We're discussing this ordinance 2013-11. My right, your left, first row, second row. Come on up.
Can I just ask?
No, come on. Come on. How sloppy is this meeting?
It's one simple question. Town Hall 121 Evergreen Street. This is effective through December 31st, 2013. This is only for 2 months? Or should that be 2014?
No, it's 2013, you have to do one every year.
Do it again?
Yeah, because you're supposed to do one every year.
Okay.
Anyone else in that row? Next row? Fourth row? Back row? Over to my left, your right. First row, questions on this ordinance or comments?
My name's Woodruff at 370 South Martin. My question is, we agreed for 110,000. There was other talk about for the township to buy him a car, and when's that gonna come out? What budgets?
Okay, well, this ordinance is in regards to salary only.
Oh.
If you want to question other items, then you would need to do that in the
Okay.
general piece at the end, not the resolutions piece, but the end piece.
Okay,
alright?
thank you.
The salary range is 110 to 120.
Oh.
Anyone else in that row? Ordinance 2013-11. No. Next row, questions on this ordinance? Third row, fourth row, the back row. Over to my left, any questions on this ordinance? Salary. Okay. Seeing no other questions or statements, the general public, I will close the general public portion of this ordinance and bring it back to council for discussion. Any discussion on this ordinance by council? Right to a roll call? No? Mr. Belton?
No.
Mr. Brown? No, Mr. Brown. Okay, do I have action on this? I'm sorry. Do I have a roll call on this, please? Thank you.
Mr. Belton?
No.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Falco?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dow?
No. We'll now move on to public questions on resolutions. Please state your name and address for the record. Public comment during this portion is limited to questions on below resolutions only. Okay, going to open this up to my right, your left. First row, questions on these resolutions. Second row, questions on the resolutions. Third row, questions on the resolutions. Fourth row, fifth row, back row. All right, over to my left, your right. First row, questions on the resolutions. Come forward.
I had two resolutions in question. Resolution 2013-149. To clarify more.
Josh, would you mind speaking on that's the good neighbor loan one for the vet? It's a UEZ loan, Mr. Brown will explain.
It's a good neighbor loan for 15 years at 4%. So required the water company to maybe that in the company in the town.
As my answer. Okay, thank you. Second question is 2013-151.
It's for our insurance. Every year you need to appoint a fund commissioner and an alternate who the insurance company deal with, that's all.
In case our first person gets sick, you be in charge, right?
Well, if Mr. Berry was out of town or something, there was an insurance question, then they would contact me.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
a standard thing we do every year.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone that row, questions on resolutions? Second row, questions on resolutions? Third row, questions on resolutions? Fourth row, fifth row, go to the wall. No questions on the resolutions. Seeing no further questions on the resolutions, I close to that public portion and move on to the resolutions for discussion, action. Resolution 2013-141, resolution of Mount Holly Township approving a performance bond for McDonald's USA LLC. Any discussion? It's pretty cut and dry.
Mr. Mayor, I don't want to rubber wheels, don't do 140 in executive
I'll do
session.
the executive first, okay. Let's move back to the front of the page. Resolution 2013-140, resolution authorizing executive session. Pretty cut and dry.
That's for the purpose, just for the public's benefit of litigation, contracts, and personnel,
And
or real estate.
no official action was taken.
Correct.
Okay, and that was, motion made by Mr. DeFalco.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Belton?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. DeFalco?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dow?
Yes. Okay, now,
I'm making a recommendation to do a consent because they accept the 145, 149 all separately.
you want out, you're thinking about a consent with without 145,
Or is that 149?
without 149. Let me see
And that's
what
the alternative.
not yet.
Mr. DeFalco, you may also want to add the
Okay.
action item on the taxi cab operator's license, if that's routine. I assume that you checked it out, so you can add that as part of your consent agenda item for action.
Well, I'd like 150 off, just to cover it. See what else. Well, let's start with a consent from, with 141, 2013-141, resolution of Mount Holly Township approving the performance bond for McDonald's. Resolution 2013-142, resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the budget of any county or municipality pursuant to NJSA 40A4-87, Chapter 159, PL 148. And Resolution 2013-143, resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the budget of any county or municipality pursuant to NJSA 40A4-87, Chapter 159, PL 148 again. I guess we have two of those. And Resolution 2013-144, resolution of appointment of Teresa Kramer to the position of tax collector in the establishment of tenure. And that would be our first consent agenda. We may do another one if we can bundle. So, do I have discussion on that consent agenda? That's 2013-141 through 2013-144.
I have nothing.
Okay, action on that consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve resolutions 2013-141 through 2013-144.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call on the consent.
Mr. Belton?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. DeFalco?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dow?
Yes. Okay, now we have standalone resolution 2013-145, resolution for the approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Woodpecker Lane project. So, Mr. DeFalco, you wanted that?
Yeah, I just had a question. I apologize, I would have found this out earlier, I was away this week and didn't get a chance to go to the packet. But in the past, this application has been submitted multiple times for the same project, if I remember correctly. It's been denied through NJDOT like numerous times. And
Right.
it seems like the application, aside from the dates, are basically rubber stamped the same. Is there any other way to do this?
Well,
Look at
they've
it
given
more
us
thorough?
a portion of the money for, I don't know if it was 12 or 13 now. but it wasn't enough to do anything with, so we're hoping to expand on that money
This is still on
to complete
an
it.
account somewhere waiting to do this?
Yeah, it's in a, and Woodpecker's in a bad way. I mean, we have a lot of streets in a bad way, but Woodpecker, needs to be done. So I think they gave us like $11,000.
Out of 330.
Everybody knows, the size of Woodpecker Lane, they're gonna do an intersection.
And we're at the deadline for that, so that, this
We have
has,
to submit, right?
this
Yeah.
has to submit.
Yeah, I mean, just, we have that money sitting there dedicated to that, we gotta try to build on that to get that done back there, because that's in bad shape.
Does that answer your question?
That's it, yeah.
Any other questions on this resolution? Seeing none. Action on resolution 2013-145.
Motion to approve 2013-145.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Belton?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. DeFalco?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dow?
Yes. Okay. Do we need to discuss it? No? Okay, good. All right. All right, so we've got resolution 2013-146. I'm gonna build another consent agenda here, okay? So we got resolution 2013-146, a resolution appointing an acting clerk pursuant to NJSA 40A9-133C. We have a resolution 2013-147, a resolution requesting permission for the dedication by rider. We have a resolution 2013-148, resolution approving the final reimbursement of the municipal park development grant from the county of Burlington. Resolution 2013-149, resolution of the Township of Mount Holly approving an application for the Urban Enterprise Zone Good Neighbor Loan Program. And that will be our next consent agenda. Brings us to 150. So, do we have discussion on that consent agenda? 146 through 149. Seeing no discussion, do I have action on this consent agenda 2013-146 to 2013-149?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 146 to 149.
Do I have a second to Mr. Jones' motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Belton?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. DeFalco?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dow?
Yes. We now have resolution 2013-150, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Mount Holly, County of Burlington, New Jersey, authorizing the submission of an application to the New Jersey Local Finance Board pursuant to NJSA 40A2-26. I actually would just like to...
Mr. Mayor, what this is, Mr. Mayor and Council, is we have some bonds that are coming to maturity date, and we're going to the local finance board to ask for some spread out our long-term financing. I mean, at one point, we're going to have a principal due of about $2 million. This is when we met with our advisor, our financial advisor some time ago, I guess probably before summer. This is the beginning of phase of that, to stretch that payment out. So this way the amounts will be less and it won't impact any services or the tax rate.
Okey-doke. All right. Having heard the details of this, any discussion by council? Action on resolution 2013-151. 2013-150. Thank you again, Mr. Jones. 2013-150.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Second from Mr. DeFalco. Roll call, please.
Mr. Belton?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. DeFalco?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dow?
Yes. Right. Resolution 2013-151. Resolution appointing a fund commissioner. Let's build another consent. Resolution 2013-152. Resolution authorizing refund of certain monies. approval of the taxi operator's license application, we'll throw that in there. And approval of the department head reports, we'll throw that in there. Okay, that's our consent agenda. Is there any discussion on that? No. Action on that
Make
consent
a motion to
agenda?
approve the resolutions for the taxi cab operator license and the department head reports.
I have a second, Mr. DeFalco.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Belton?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. DeFalco?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Dow?
Yes. All right. Brings us to old business. I had a couple of things thrown on this. IT committee meeting.
There is a meeting scheduled.
I'm sorry, Steve, hold on a second. Let me read it for a second. All right, the IT committee meeting, we have a scheduled.
There
date
is a
for?
meeting scheduled. I will send the agenda out to all the members that are listed on there. Mr. DeFalco sent me an agenda and the date, and Rich, it slips my mind what night it was. It's the first Thursday, I think, in October, so I'll get that out tomorrow.
We're looking at it, kind of hour we were looking at.
It's 7 o'clock.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna cover that. The CFO meeting attendance. Mr. DeFalco brought it up, we were all in
Yeah,
consensus.
it's the first time I'll discuss with you. I'd like to discuss with you private.
Okay. Communication from Mike Tam on the train issue. You referred to me, you discussed with me that this fella is, still very interested in doing something, and it would be, the right thing to do to let him.
Mr. Brown did meet with him. Mr. Brown did meet with him, and he did prepare a report, which you put in your packet, regarding that.
There was a report in this back. Oh,
Oh.
that's when we came in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm sorry, he'd emailed it to me, I need to
All right.
email it to the
All
clerk.
right, so we'll review that, and then we'll discuss it, and, we got a chance to review this issue. All right. That was old business. Anyone else have any old business? New business? I have something that I had put on here, and, I wanted to discuss with you guys. And that's a resolution, and I have a copy of one that Sayreville passed, that I would like copies made and given to the council. It's a resolution to support, the ballot question to raise the minimum wage. And, I'd like to discuss it. I have, a whole speech ready to go if you guys need it. And,
You have my support.
If we already have the consensus there, let's just, go with it there, all right?
We can all high five on that one.
Right, so we'll use the resolution provided you, and you can just change the name on the top of it, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen that resolution.
If you'd like to pass it tonight, Mr. Mayor, we can memorialize it, but I think you can walk it on. I think it's pretty
I'd like to
self-explanatory.
read it first.
Okay.
May affect me, I don't know.
When you get a copy, you can
You're
read it
welcome.
back.
I'm not sure how it affects me, I'd like to read it.
Well, we have time before
Just basically in support of raising the minimum wage, period. That's really all it is.
Give some details on the poverty level that's been all over the newspaper for the last week, and, the situation in the state of New Jersey, 1 out of 5 are under the poverty level. And the minimum wage, by the way, even where it's raised to, will still continue to pay below the poverty level. So not everybody has the benefit of collective bargaining, so, this is something that's dear to me, that we're a working class town, and, whatever we can do, I sure would like to do it. And it's a matter of passing a resolution of support, that's easy enough done.
You want me to walk on resolution 2013-153? Pass it.
Well, Mr. Belton
Go
did.
ahead, you got, I can abstain.
Okay, all right then.
I don't know about it, that's all.
All right. All right, we can.
A resolution or an ordinance?
It's a
Resolution.
resolution. It's a resolution. All right, so that would be the next sequential order would be 20, all right, so, we can.
It basically would be whereas the Township of Mount Holly supports the ballot question in support of the raising of the minimum wage as set forth. And I'll write it up next time so it's memorialized, but if you want a motion on it, you could do it tonight, certainly free.
So we're not supporting it, we're just supporting putting it on the ballot.
No, it's on the
No,
ballot.
it's on the ballot.
You're supporting the passage of it, you're urging the passage of it.
Okay.
We can just utilize this one.
I would use the same one and just take the name out. I've seen this, several municipalities I believe have done this now, I think it's starting to go.
Okay, well, that's the only one that I got an email on, so, that's the one I brought in, you know, but, so there's a motion then, Mr. DeFalco made a motion, Deputy Mayor DeFalco made a motion.
I'll second.
And Mr. Jones made a second, so roll call on that, please.
Mr. Belton.
Abstain.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. DeFalco.
Affirmative.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Dell.
Yes. Next issue, new business, just to hammer it down, after the 911 memorial service, there were a lot of people that were concerned with the status of the condition of the flag. Steve has actually addressed it already, and you know that's a done deal. But going forward, I would like to you know, there to be an actual flag or a policy for both parks, that there's a walkthrough prior, so that, you know.
That was fair, and like I said, I accept the responsibility for that. We had the grounds taken, and I didn't realize that tree branch had fallen away and didn't rip the flag like that.
And we're way beyond that.
I understand that, and I
we're
mean,
good to go there. I'm just saying.
You know,
yeah.
it's always been the police department. We've taken care of it and made sure, you know, when the governor says up or down, we put it up or down. Things of that nature.
I'm just talking, Steve. I'm just talking. You know, on a procedure nutbag, right? So, you know, I'm talking about a procedure checklist that whoever you've got doing it at this park and the other park, he goes down and he sees the mulch is looking good, the edging is good. Look at the flag's good, the condition of the flagpole's good, all the items that you know
We'll take care of it.
need to be done, you know, but, you know, you've got a certain amount until you retire, I've got a certain amount of time until I retire. This thing, if it's a procedure in a you know, a piece of paper, and there's somebody around that keeps track of it, you know, it'll go forward long after this meeting is long forgotten. You know, so that's the only reason I promised the folks there from the VFW that I would bring it. Alan knows that, so there it is. And the other thing I also discussed after that event with some of the same people actually was senior emergency procedures. The issue was, and Alan Hollowell addressed it right then and there, but I gave him my word I would bring it forward, so here it is. When there's an emergency situation where a tree comes down and there's no power, we do have a policy where somebody, CERT, police, fire, someone knocks on doors.
We will do everything from knocking on the door to sending out a message on the computer. So we, you know, get something down in the neighborhood and we have to go door to door, we've done it. We utilize, when we have a situation like that, between CERT, the fire department, the police department, public works at times, whoever, you know, who volunteers, and then, you know, we document, to check on the people. If, you know, we have to, if there's sheltering in place, if we have to move them, you know, we gather all their information, where it'll be, how we can get a hold of them, you know, who's at what shelter, or if you're staying with a relative, things of that nature.
Is there something on the website where they can register for, like, NEXI?
We are trying,
all
there's
that?
a ton of stuff that we have to put on there. I need some assistance from Mr. Falco. I tried to do some of it myself, it didn't come out real
Well,
well.
Mr. Howell mentioned a program he had already had forms for or something, so I'm not quite sure, Alan, if you want to speak to it.
I can address it anytime you like.
All right, so what we can do is at our next scheduled IT meeting, go over these. I think it's one of the topics on the website, and we can do to approve it, including all these emergency services.
Right. The program Rich is talking about is called registerready.org. You can go online, seniors can go online, register, and the township has access to that information. The only ones that have access to that information to pull up seniors to find out, you know, if there's an emergency in an area, to contact them. Chief also has another program through BCOEM called Global Connect. And through Global Connect, we can send out voice messages, text messages, etc. to every phone number in Mount Holly, or break it down by a map for certain areas in Mount Holly.
You have to have the permission of the people?
Not for
Because
that,
I'm
no.
thinking, you know, I remember the voter walk list told you how old the person was when you got to the door. So if you can target people to get their vote, I certainly would hope that we would be able to
When they
make
first
sure we
did
target
Global
them to make
Connect.
sure they're okay.
Yeah, when they first did Global Connect, they gave us a list like this from the phone company numbers. Now, like, for instance, the hospital might have 200 and some lines. We had to narrow down which one they wanted to be notified on. And most of the if the residents had more than one line, we had to reach out to them, but for the most part, most of the residents.
Do you have that list in electronic format, like in the database number?
At the time, we didn't. They gave it to us in.
We want to get it now.
Oh, yeah, it's in
Join it up
Excel.
to the voter database
Yeah.
and bang, here's all your numbers.
Yeah, it's in Excel. When they initially gave it to us, and we could write on it, it was given to us like in a book.
Right. I think we really hammered it. So
You're gonna be there.
Okay.
You're on the committee.
There you go. All right, so that's all I had on the new business, with the exception of the work session coming forward, what we're going to have on that, and that will be, as previously discussed, the solar ordinance. Some particular, importance now that we see what happens when there's a fire. So we really should make sure that we have something in place, and we may want to reach out and find out whatever adjustments are being made to the ordinances, by the fire folks, fire marshal, Yeah, because those things stay energized. There might be some kind of a requirement we could put on there that there's a deactivation blow it apart thing, something better than what they have. That's the bottom line.
The question comes down to how do you turn off the solar cell? Sun's out.
Right. So, the button that says "Don't press unless you want to destroy this panel," should be maybe on there, and maybe the bottom can blow out of it, and that would disconnect because they run in series.
I think you
So,
have a council member that's very well versed in that also.
Something like that, maybe.
There's a disconnect
Well,
outside that goes up to the line.
But that's just disconnect. I'm pretty familiar with it too. That's just a disconnect to go to the power company. They're talking about the individual cells being charged independently. And then the cumulative value is what really whacks you. But the individual value, if the panel run is long enough, is enough, depending on what the size of the panel is, the capacity is, right? But anyhow, so the solar ordinance will be discussed. Impact fees, we've been kicking around for months. That'll be discussed. I'd like to revisit energy aggregation to see what you guys are thinking on that, because it looks like Lumberton just did it.
Have we got any feedback to the county and where they're at with that?
Well, we need to do that, but I'd like to just touch on it, no major discussion, just say, hey, where are we going with that? When you read in the paper that the township next door just did it. And apparently there was no outreach to the people or nothing, no article in the Burlington County Times, nothing, we kick it around a minute, And another thing I was thinking about maybe touching base on was revenue items, issues that we've talked about in the past that we could do to either raise revenue or decrease expenses. The item we talked about, dedicating a piece of a parking ticket to rec, selling excess properties, a couple of different things there. There was a list. I'd like to just touch base on it. It wouldn't be long. The solar ordinance and the impact fees definitely will take time. The energy org, that's just a touch. Revenue items, I think we can just get that pretty quick. And we now have this ordinance review. So the ordinance review will come up after the impact fees, and then if we have time, we'll hit those other two.
Actually, the energy stuff, have we yet been switched over?
Yeah, August 1st was the.
Have we done any analysis?
No, actually, ironically, I was looking at the bills today, but I got to pull the other ones previously. They were sitting on my desk. And
I assume we compare last year.
Came up with last year's.
And we've also all been informed that they're offering gas.
They're doing
reverse
gas now
auction
too. That's something.
So there's a gas reverse auction. We can touch base on that. We may move on that right then and there, like we did with the other one, because that's just in the township. But so that's what I would like to see on the work session. That's the last thing I have under new business. Anyone else want to
No, I think I'm covered.
All right, matters to be presented by the public is what we're up to then, folks. By 9 o'clock. All right, so we have, please state your name and address for the record. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer and not to individual council members. If any member of the public has a matter to be presented that pertains to housing and/or police matters, please see Chief Martin. I'll open this up to my right, your left. First row is the general questions. Nothing. Okay. Second row. Third row. Come on up there. You have to do that part where it says, state your name and address for the record.
Gina Hutchinson, 19 West Monroe Street. I wanted to talk about Monroe Park. I guess it seems like there's been a lot of problems at the park recently, which I wanted to see if maybe the people speeding, trying to get a speed bump put there near the park, because kids run out and the cars are flying by, especially when it's baseball season. Another thing is, I guess older kids that are at the park that are kind of taunting the younger kids. So I wasn't sure if maybe we were able to get, maybe some more drive-bys from the police department there. Also, a bunch of us have been trying to clean up the park. I should have bought them. We've probably picked up about 20 little dime bags almost every other day. We found needles. I did make a statement with one of the police officers at the police station, but I guess that's what I have to say.
Okay, speed bump.
Yes.
You can hang out for a second. Speed bump. That's a real issue. A lot of residents, have this desire to have a speed bump. The last policy that was in place was if all the residents on the street signed a petition,
Yeah.
Then it would be
And
considered.
I submitted a form.
It has to be 100%
I
of
had
the residents.
161 signatures, and I did submit a form at the end of last summer.
The point isn't the number, but the percentage. Apparently,
Okay.
it has to be everybody on there. So 161, you
161
have
people on the
162 people on the street. All right, so that, I just want to key in on the, and then after you get that petition, with all those signatures, we don't have a budget. So the last time Buttonwood Street was considering it, the residents over there, and basically we were kind of hinting at do a fundraiser and come up with, a donation, and we'll put speed bumps in, and it kind of ended there. But that was the last discussion on speed bumps was with Buttonwood. But there was a speed bump issue, how many years? 3 years ago on right around the corner.
I actually have a suggestion.
What do you have?
About it. Because of the location, you're talking about the back street, right, where you can walk across the playground, right? That one.
No, I'm talking about the front, especially in the morning, because people are flying down that road to try
You're
to
talking about
avoid the speed
between White and Bishop, right?
Yeah.
White's the one that dead ends after
Yes.
Robin's
Yep.
Nest, and the garage is there, and then Bishop's the one that comes back up
Yeah,
to the
there,
bridge.
I mean, the whole street has a problem with people flying by. A little girl in the corner was hit last summer because people were just flying.
Oh, I didn't know a little girl was hit over there.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
Just so you know, I was thinking about the Safeways grant that was on for, but that would be more in line with access to like the property and the playground area over there and the fields being in between the houses.
Right.
Makes it more difficult.
well, and again, we would also have to, if as in the past, past procedures or policy have been thrown out the window, we have to weigh in as council if that procedure that I just stated is what we're going to still go with. So if council wants to put this on the November work session, or if you want to